Welcome to the Fans Only Sports Network and welcome to Maryland for some NCLL action. It's Elite 8 time here in Division I and the College of Holy Cross here to take on University of Maryland. Maryland, the host team, comes in as the number 2 seed taking on the number 7 seeded Crusaders. Charlie Adams here on play-by-play, Larry Yin doing the camera work for this one, and this is our final Elite 8 matchup before we move into our semifinal games. Game 4 here today, while Tim Duffy and Matt Vutsinos on the other end have handled the same workload for the other side of the bracket. As you all know, this game goes far beyond the end line and carries on long after the last blow of the whistle. Since the early 1990s, the Powell family has been fueling the imagination of players, fans, and enthusiasts with their highly energized brand of lacrosse and unique backyard style. From their humble beginnings inside the small upstate New York Piper Mill town of Champion, the Powell brothers played the game with fire, unrivaled creativity, and wild passion. Over the course of their careers, they became 3 of the most decorated lacrosse players ever. In 2015, their professional playing days came to an end, and they started a company that exists to support the culture, push the future, and pull the past. Now in their 9th year of business, and they have become one of the world's top stick manufacturer, uniform suppliers, and event organizers. The best players are reaching for Powell sticks, the top teams are wearing Powell on their shoulders, and the best memories are being made at Powell events all across the world. Visit powellacross.com, do some shopping around, and join the journey. They offer an industry-leading 1-year warranty on all of their products, and every single stick that leaves their headquarters is created by a craftsman, certified Powell craftsman, to make sure your stick is throwing perfect right out of the box. Use coupon code NCLL24 for 10% off your order and start your relationship with Powell today. So we're back in with the camera working here. Holy Cross, the Crusaders, Maryland, the Terrapins, Holy Cross in the purple, Terrapins in the white. Currently sits 54 degrees, a foggy, rainy, cloudy, dreary day on this Saturday. Sunday, Championship Sunday, where Division II and Division I championships will take place at the SECU Stadium, home to the Maryland Terrapins football program. Should be a nicer day than this, as Holy Cross misses on that wind-up shot. Maryland takes over possession. Thank you to everyone here tuned in, watching on the Fans Only Sports Network. You can also check us out on social medias, Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at FO Sports. Z at the end of sports, SPORTZ. Looking at the bracket, there's finally an upset here. Or excuse me, there's still no upset. We're waiting on an upset through Division II, through Division I. Every team that was the higher seeded team has won. So on the D2 side, the 1 and 4 teams in Kentucky and Union will face off coming up at 5 p.m., the next game here. And then Westchester and High Point University, the 2 and 3 seeded teams, will also face off on Field 2 with Tim Duffy and the crew over there. For the national tournament on the Division I side of things, Navy took down Providence and Penn State took down Virginia. Those 2 teams will face off at 7 p.m. It'll be our final game, broadcast to you live here tonight. Currently being played, Maryland versus Holy Cross. You're here at the right place. But if you're not, and you were looking for Ohio State versus Loyola, then all you have to do is travel to our YouTube channel and check out that game also for free on our website, or you can watch on demand. As Holy Cross makes the save there, Sean McCarthy, the goalie for Holy Cross. Possession is with Maryland as they toss it into the X. Fighting through conditions here to bring you this broadcast as the spin around shot goes wide. Maryland possession. Throwing it back into play is going to be the number 4 belonging to Tucker Fanzo. That wraparound shot again tried by Maryland. Again missing the mark. Tossed back to Jack McCann. And that bounce shot saved as Sean McCarthy deflects it over his net. Holy Cross doing some good defending early on. Trying to get it out of their zone. Possession stays with Maryland here. Fans filing in for the hometown Maryland team. Right on campus next to the Xfinity Center. Juke move there, put on. And tossed into the X. Again, it's Fanzo. Pushed along, and again, it'll roll out of bounds. Maryland winning it. Another foot race deciding things as still looking for our first score. You're watching NCLL action. Charlie Adams here bringing it to you live on the Fans Only Sports Network. Another opportunity. This one gets past. The Terrapins, first ones on the board. Evan Jones. Jones the one to put the Terrapins into the scoring column. And we resume action from midfield now with the Maryland Terrapins up 1-0. Flag is on the play. Holy Cross is taking their time now with a free possession here until the Terps touch it. It will be a delayed penalty coming against Maryland. Jack O'Connor comes onto the field from the bench. And now pushing from the top, it's Pat Nissi. Spinning around, the bounce shot coming from Michael McLean. Goes wide, now a second opportunity, also missing the mark. We're going to get the flag now. It's going to be against Maryland. 30 seconds against Logan Craig. Man up chance for the Crusaders. As you can see, the rain dripping down here in front of our camera. Back going here with Holy Cross. Trying to get past here to tie things up on their man advantage. Man advantage up. We're back to even numbers. The ball going to be put back into play behind the goal, sent into the corner. Now up top. Handled there by Brendan Demick. Maryland with a 1-goal lead, pushing forward to the left side. Held back for a second before scoring goal 2. The Terrapins up early on in this one, striking early and often. Brennan Tracy putting away goal 2 for Maryland. They lead it. Two to nothing here in our final Elite 8 matchup. Brought to you by Powell Lacrosse, powelllacrosse.com. Use code NCLL24 for 10% off. Michael Fargione passes back to Matt Rem. Rem's going to get a pick from Caden Lee. Lee falls down on his pick, but did the job as it's passed out from the X to the wing. Now off the screen, another shot, this one going wide. It's going to stay scoreless day so far for the Crusaders, just getting going, the 7 seed, trying to upset the 2-seeded Maryland Terrapins. Now Holy Cross double teamed into their right, but a good pass sets up Michael McLean, who misses it wide. A fake, a shot, and Maryland gives up their first here as Matt Rem finds the mark for the Crusaders. It's 2-1. It was a strong start, but the first strike from Maryland. Whistles and possession in favor of Maryland. The Terps passing to the wing over to Aiden Fonseca. Cutting back, faking, and now going up with the bounce shot. It goes over the net. Holy Cross possession. Taking over at midfield. They'll move it up here. First quarter action continuing here with the score 2-1. Maryland out in front. The hosts of this tournament hosting the year after they brought it home in 2023. The Terps on home base for this year's edition. They beat Delaware 8-4 to punch their ticket here. Went 12-2 after beating Ohio State at OSU after losing in the spring in a tournament to the Buckeyes in overtime. There's a chance that they face the Buckeyes in our 7 p.m. matchup. That game would be on field 2 when we get to that point. If Maryland and Ohio State can both bring it home, they would meet up in the semifinals. In 2023, They were national champions as they beat Ohio State when the tournament was played at Penn State. And in 2022, they were a finalist as they lost to Navy, with the tournament being hosted at Navy. So Navy was able to win it at their home in 2022. Can Maryland do the same, coming in as the number 2 seed? It all starts against Holy Cross here, who look to tie on that shot, ringing iron. Holy Cross, the number 7 seed, had no team in 2022, but in 2023 made the Elite 8 and couldn't travel when they went 6-2. And in 2024, 7-2 year, they beat Providence from the unbeaten ranks in the regular season. And the 2 losses they took were by a combined 3 goals, so close games all the way around. They lost to Hudson Hellfire 8-7 in overtime, and Fairfield 9-7 in the first game. And it was Fairfield who they got revenge on in the first round of the playoffs to punch their ticket to this game. 7-6, they beat Fairfield. The rain continues to sprinkle down here. Thank you to everyone who is following along here, tuned in so you can stay out of this rough weather, or just not in the area and want to tune in, watch some NCLL action here. Maryland trying to get the edge. Pass to the X. Another shot gets past for Maryland. Three to 1. Still a Terrapin lead after goal 3. Put them up 3 to 1. Maryland very upset here. Now the referees discussing things here as our first quarter continues to wind down. And after the referees talked things over, they'll resume action from midfield with Holy Cross holding possession. Holy Cross goes to the right, led in by Michael McLean. Out in front, the ball unable to be secured. Maryland takes it back. Defending in their own end, Maryland goes from corner to corner and now moves it up the field quickly as it bounces through. Ball loose with the Holy Cross goalie out of position. Now returns back to his post before any harm can be done. Maryland holds in the corner. Now Maryland still holding possession here. Pass goes out of bounds. It will stay with Maryland. Minute 30 to go in the quarter. First quarter winding down as the bounce shot sneaks past. Maryland does it again with Tucker Fanzo. Fourth goal in the first quarter of action. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in, watching on the Fans Only Sports Network. Check out our social medias at FO Sports Z. At the end of sports, got to remember that. SPORTZ. Keep up on the tournament and all other games that we stream live nearly every day on the Fans Only Sports Network. All different levels, all different sports, all live, most free. The ones that aren't, you can find on the Fans Only Sports website, fansonlysports.com. That shot goes way wide, out of bounds into the corner. Both teams making substitutions here. Counting down, 5 seconds to go in our first quarter. That's the end of quarter number one. Your score 4-1. The Terrapins taking control early as the 2 seed going up against the 7-seeded Holy Cross. We'll be back with second quarter action shortly here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Welcome back to the National College Lacrosse League Elite 8 action here in Division 1, our final game of the Elite 8, alongside our other final game, both being played at the same time, one on this field, one on our second field. The winners of the games being played on both team fields will face off at 7 p.m. on Field 2. So winner here will have to play on the other field that they weren't playing here today. You'll have to tune into another broadcast with Tim Duffy bringing you across the finish line here on into Championship Sunday. After one, score 4-1. Terrapins out in front over the Crusaders. Charlie Adams here for the Fans Only Sports Network, bringing you the action. Sponsored by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com. Use code NCLL24 for 10% off your purchase. Hard shot. Good save from Sean McCarthy. Maryland getting aggressive on the Crusader there as Michael McLean had no option but to lose possession. And now The aggressive play continues at midfield. Holy Cross getting possession off that whistle. Holy Cross has Carter Titus, who holds. Titus gets it back. And we'll pass it back along where he got it from. Over to Max Congdon. Trying to get the edge. The shot coming from Carter Titus goes out of bounds. Maryland not giving much space, allowing the Crusaders to get anything really off. Flag on the field. And that gets by Holy Cross, but they'll recover it as Max Congdon goes back to grab it. Hard shot, up and over, out of bounds. We'll see our flag get picked up. Unnecessary roughness is going to be the call. It's against the sophomore, Coy Greenwell. Crusaders go a man up. Now we're getting a steady rain coming down after a good stretch of light rain. Man-up advantage continues here for the Crusaders. And as the man-up advantage goes away for Holy Cross, Maryland gets back in the scoring column. 5th goal across for the Terps here. All before halftime. Plenty of time in our second quarter to add on more. 5 goals. Some impressive first half action coming from the host team in the Terps. Thank you to everyone here watching on the Fans Only Sports Network. NCLL Elite 8 action presented by Powell Lacrosse. Ball on the ground. Maryland trying to secure it, fighting hard. Holy Cross, the ones who take possession as John Jacobson. Now give away to Michael McLean. McLean passes it over. Short spurt of rain subsiding as Matt Rem drives to his left. Coming from the corner and weaving through traffic to make the shot. Jackson Harris bounces it too hard. It will go over the net and out of bounds. Possession headed Maryland's way. Passed away and Maryland now. Bring it up. Trying to kick it once again. Move it forward. They will now. Fanzo goes down. Now some whistles and a little extra pushing and shoving after the play. Referee's going to make sure everything's under order. Referee talking to the coaches as he gave timeout and will take a timeout too. 5-1. The Terps are leading over the Crusaders here. Second quarter continues when we return. Welcome back. It's 5-1 here. National College Lacrosse League, live on the Fans Only Sports Network. Terrapins with a great first half and still time to continue to apply the pressure here. Weaving through traffic now, a second shot. Floors goalie McCarthy, who's back up and facing another shot that goes wide. Sean McCarthy under heavy fire there, passing the test on both of occasions. And now a behind the back look for Maryland. Just goes out of bounds, missed the mark by an inch. Another hard send in. This one rolls back out of bounds. It will stay with Maryland here. Second quarter continues as Maryland may be wrapping it around. They'll send a bounce shot past the net. Whistled back in and passed off. That will go off the net and rebound out of bounds. Couldn't bring it in cleanly, and will give Holy Cross possession, maybe momentum needed to start working their way back. During the timeout, they were talking of having to bring the same energy they brought against Fairfield, the team that they beat 8-7 to clinch their spot in this playoff. Maybe they'll have something more to offer after this timeout that they just called. 5-1 here. Another timeout taken, this one coming from the man in purple, the Crusaders. We'll talk it over. 5-1, we'll be right back. Welcome back. NCLL action off the timeout. Holy Cross talked it over. Let's see if they have something to offer against this Maryland team that's held them to one score so far after a quarter and a half. Holy Cross drives through the middle. The Crusaders now backing off a little with Pat Nistel. Big collision. Both players right back up to their feet. And Holy Cross continues to hold possession with Jack O'Connor, dealing it to the wing. Welcome all new watchers and listeners here to the Fans Only Sports Network. You can keep up with FOSN past the NCLL and during on our social medias at FO Sports. Check out all the happenings around NCLL and when we're broadcasting games and what games are being broadcasted. Ball rolled through the middle, picked up by Holy Cross. A quick shot from Carter Titus. Nearly found the mark, just barely offline, as now the return effort from Maryland is swallowed up by Sean McCarthy off of the shot from Justin Dixon. At the wing, Holy Cross taking a second with Michael Fargione. Now up to Titus. Titus with a brace on his left leg. Spin move, backing up, getting it to Titus. Titus dribbles it into the X. We're out in front, a fake and a score for Jackson Harris. The Crusaders back into the scoring column as Harris makes this a 3-goal game. Finally a response from the Crusaders. It's 5-2. Off the face-off, Maryland with possession, looking to quickly negate that score from Holy Cross. It's knocked away, kept in bounds before just trickling out. Holy Cross will take over. If you tuned into the Fans Only Sports Network and were looking for the Ohio State versus Loyola game, you can go back and check out what we have to offer there. As that rung through, hit the iron, and fell out as a possession change for Maryland taking it over. Ohio State and Loyola, the game going on across from us on field 2. That game's also broadcasted live. You can watch it now or you could watch it on demand. Now in the corner, Maryland will hold up there. The rain is really picking up now. Coming down steadily here in College Park. Protected by our canopy as Maryland finds home. Loaded up shot, getting it across. And the Terps are back into the scoring column once again here. Brian Zajac gets them their 6th. Winding back and sending it home. 6-2. Our first half continues. Maryland wins the face-off as it rolls towards them. They scoop it up and send it down the sideline. Now some good stick work from the number 0 of Jack McCann. McCann deals it off. Now trying to get the angle. The big Brennan Tracy comes in close, nearly had it. He'll go down hard. Flag on the play, as he's a little bit banged up after that. The rain coming down even harder now. Back up and jogging off the field, Tracy. Two minutes full. That's going to be a rough one for Holy Cross. 1:58 to go in the half, a 2-minute full penalty, so he won't be going anywhere as it's a man-up advantage for the Terrapins, leading by 4. Maryland now moving it around. It's knocked away. Scooped back up by McCann. And another Maryland goal. They're taking advantage of that 2-minute man advantage already. Goal 7 coming across here. Man advantage will continue. Holy Cross remains a man down because of the penalty despite the goal. It's a 2-minute full penalty. It'll sneak into our second half by a couple. Cradled in. Play slowed down as we count it down. Not even many steps taken as Jack McCann will hold on to it. And that'll do it for our first half. A monstrous first half for the Terrapins, the defending champion, hosting the tournament. And they enter halftime with the score 7-2. We'll be back with more action, second half action, after this. Welcome back. Second half coming up here live on the Fans Only Sports Network. Right when we can click reload, and there we go. Second half score 7-2. What a beautiful day. I couldn't think of any better weather to be out here broadcasting from Maryland. Final semifinals match before we move on to our final quarterfinals match before we move on to our semifinals. Michael Fargione passes it to the middle for Matt Rem. Now, Holy Cross with a bounce shot there coming from Caden Lee that just misses the mark. Holy Cross again now, moving it, sending it in. It goes high. It will go out of bounds. This turf definitely might see some slippage and other kinds of those things while this rain continues to come down harder and harder. Maryland tosses it to the wing. Wing to wing, now coming down from the point. Ringing iron, can't find home. Action continues with movement to the left, a shot saved by McCarthy. And whistles as possession heads Maryland's way on that contact. Maryland tosses it to the corner. Up to the point now. And the pass just went right out of the stick last second. Graham Rogers with the misfire there. Now he'll set the pick that drops the stick of the Holy Cross defender. Cleared out by McLaughlin in goal. Up to John Jacobson, who retrieved his stick off the floor. Holy Cross now to midfield. Caught by Pat Nistel. Thank you to everyone tuned in watching here on the Fans Only Sports Network. Thank you to our sponsors at Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com. Use code NCLL24 for 10% off. Screen set to the right, and now a close shot based off that screen by Michael McLean. Just missing the mark with that, and now backed up here. Holy Cross, a man up here. As it's scooped up, Maryland with their number 18 in the box still on the slash. That's Austin Connerly. Moved up the field quickly. The Terps hit from behind as Mac Henderson takes it away. The Crusaders now working it into the offensive zone, man advantage still. They trail by 5 here in our second half of action. Third quarter continues to tick down. Loose ball scooped up, Maryland takeaway. Through midfield, they'll pass it up to the wing. From there, here comes Sean Scott. Pass near the net, trying to get the angle. 2 defenders in his way, and he shoots, just barely missing the mark. Long clear out for Holy Cross, jumping catch. And the Crusaders have it out of harm's way. Back to even action. No more man advantage. As possession, and now a flag. John Jacobson heads to the penalty box and, per the referee, wouldn't keep his mouth shut. It's a man-up advantage for the Terrapins. With John Jacobson. Maryland already with 7 across, circulating it around. The winner of this game, again, if you're just joining, will take on the winner of Loyola versus Ohio State, taking place right now on the field across from us. And that loose ball being fought over, tripped over even. Still near the crease as that sneaks past, and Maryland goal is the result on the man-up advantage. Another strike from 4, Tucker Fanzo. Finding the empty space to put it away. Our third quarter continues with the score 8-2. Maryland pushes the face-off towards the attacking zone, but Holy Cross comes in to secure it. Again, these are our last 2 quarterfinals games going on before we move into the semifinals games. And so far, we're yet to see an upset, even a 4-team losing to a 5-team. The 2-7 team here, and the 3-6 on the opposite field. Ohio State and the Terrapins. If you're looking for an update on Ohio State versus Loyola and don't want to switch your channel or switch your broadcast, it's the Buckeyes and Greyhounds are tied, actually, 5-5 right now. Closely contested match there. The winner will take on the winner of this game at 5 p.m. So the winner will take on the winner of this game at 7 p.m. The winner of the D2 games are at 5. Division II semifinals, 5 p.m. 7 p.m. the winner of the 3 versus 6 and 2 versus 7 matchups on field 2. Here, winner of 1 versus 8 and the winner of 4 versus 5. That would be Penn State and Navy, who will take on one another. Delay of game called there. That's the flag, and slows down our third quarter action here with that penalty. So we're going to resume action. With Maryland moving it to the corner now, up to the wing. Back up top as Fanzo passes to the corner. Maryland loses possession to High Point. They take it away. Charging up the field, Mac Henderson. Passed back to Michael McLean. Jack O'Connor holds it down before passing off. Max Condon. Now up to Pat Nistel. And a hard shot. Nistel puts the team from Worcester, Holy Cross, back into the scoring column. It's 8-3. Eight to 3 as we resume play with Connor Nee winning the face-off.
Hey, let's go, hustle. Hey, what do you got for time, guys?
Long pass. And the rain just picked up a step. Good move made. Maryland snuck it past. A smooth ninth goal to answer back quickly against Holy Cross. Coy Greenwell puts it away for the Terrapins. It's 9-3. And off the face-off, possession is going to go the way in favor of Holy Cross. Off the whistle. Under 5 minutes to go now in the third quarter, with Holy Cross just getting back to a 5-goal deficit, pushed right to a 6-goal one immediately after. The Terps unrelenting against this Holy Cross team. A white shot sent in, easily corralled by number 34, belonging to freshman goalie Wilkes Iwanicki, replacing our starter here with the score differential here in our second half. Maryland passing it around. Dishing it off. You can start to see the rain have some effect on even the players' jerseys here. As Maryland trying to go over the top, diving defense being played by Holy Cross. The Terps with a good move. Jack McCann making the pass away and fake shot. And pushed off to the right. A whistle and possession heads Holy Cross way. Maryland not a fan of that call. Third quarter winding down here. Nearly just 2 games to go here on our day. Holy Cross in the offensive zone with Max Congdon. Ball rolls out of bounds. Tucker Fanzo now holding the ball for Maryland and having knocked away. Fighting hard for it, the whistle. As McLaughlin toss it forward. Time continues to tick down in our third quarter. Almost done. Almost to our final quarter of action. Thank you to everyone here tuned in on the Fans Only Network, Sports Network, taking it in. Got up to 80 viewers here so far. Oh, almost. The lob up top nearly got the job done for Jackson Harris trying to put it away. Now the ball will trickle along and be corralled by the fans on the sideline. Still a good amount of fans here taking the game in under umbrellas on our sideline, and some even wiping off the bleachers to take a seat as a flag comes down. Holy Cross continues to push forward. The Crusaders with the flag on the field. Trailing by 6. And it looks like Holy Cross will just hold the ball for the final seconds of our third quarter. Flag left on the field as we enter our fourth quarter to score 9-3. Terrapins leading over the Crusaders. We'll be back with fourth quarter action when we return. Welcome back to the National College Lacrosse League, and since there was a flag waiting as the possession expired, we're going to start our final quarter of action right on the doorstep for Holy Cross. Scoring range as we resume play. In the offensive zone, the Crusaders trail by 6. It could take a large effort for this team to make it all the way back, and that turnover won't help things as they give it away and send the player into the sidelines. Corey Greenwell goes down hard. Right back off of the slippery turf as Holy Cross is also right back into their attack with that shot from Congdon going wide out of bounds. Maryland into the attacking zone. Sending a shot wide. Teams arriving back to our facilities here, gearing up for the semifinals action. Kentucky ready to play next here. 5 p.m. matchup between them and Union, who won an overtime thriller to start our day, versus Georgetown. Ball scooped up, now sent to the top, now over to the wing. Maryland from the corner, over to the X. Tossed over. Handled by Solier. And now Sean Scott passes off and gets the goal to go with the senior attacker, Jared Jefferson. The Terrapins hit double digits. It's 10-3 here in our fourth quarter. Rain lightened up a bit here. And right when we got our face-off underway, going to be a whistle, and we'll give the possession over to Maryland. Tossed over to Aiden Fonseca. Now Jack McCann moves it. Tucker Fanzo tossing it. And Maryland just taking their time here, circulating the ball. Fonseca goes down, fighting his way back up to his feet. He gets it to Zajac. Now Holy Cross pushing it forward at midfield. Knocked down from behind the whistles. Possession back with Maryland after that infraction. Terps move it to the corner, stopping back. Zajac moves it over to Fonseca. And now a tight angle, probably not enough to be firing that shot across, and it misses the mark. Maryland being hounded by these Holy Cross Crusaders and getting some room to get the shot off. Fonseca missing it. It'll roll out of bounds into the corner. Possession stays with Maryland, putting on a great show in this quarterfinals matchup in this NCLL Division I side of the bracket. whipping around. Crazy angle for Maryland to get goal number 11 here today. Loaded up shot for Brian Zajac, putting away goal 11. Eleven of 3. Maryland tossing it in their own end, back and forth. Now a collision as he tried to enter in. Platform we're set up on here at Maryland, pretty much completely soaking wet as the rain just hasn't stopped all day. Neither has the wind or the cold. But Maryland's offense also hasn't stopped since they stepped on the field for this 3 p.m. matchup. Kicked out of bounds. Our fourth quarter continues with Holy Cross taking over possession. Trying to go up and over with a swim move. It's taken away. Maryland pushing the pace here. Another bounce shot. This one will bounce over out of bounds. "13 minutes counting down here in the fourth quarter, with Maryland winning by a boatload over the Crusaders. Want an update on Ohio State versus Loyola. Ohio State is up to a 1-goal lead over the Greyhounds currently. It's 7-6 in the fourth quarter. Closely contested matchup on that side of our facilities. The 3 and the 7 seed, or 3 and the 6 seed, potentially our first upset. Haven't had one yet, not even a 4 versus a 5. Said it before here on this broadcast. All the favorites who were expected to take it home did. Kentucky still waiting on the sidelines for their game. That should kick off at 5. The Final Four matchup in the D2 side of things when they take on Union. Carter Titus steps back and assesses the scene here for Holy Cross. Ball loose. Now whistled at the line. It's going to be a Holy Cross possession still. Maryland sets up their defense and will resume action here. Fourth quarter continuing live on the Fans Only Sports Network. Thank you to all tuned in, following along. If you have to go anywhere or want to know when there is more to take in on the Fans Only Sports Network, check out our social media pages at FO Sports, SPORTZ. Remember the Z at the end, as well as our website, fansonlysports.com. Both can get you where you need to go to follow along with all the sports that we broadcast across different levels, different sports, and nearly every day. Maryland has their net wide open. Now back into position as Holy Cross holds possession. Michael McLean trying to sneak it in, unable to, as Wilkes Iwanicki comes out and stops it. Pass forward, a pump fake, and a big slash. Couple of them, no call. Maryland wants to call. Couple of pretty strong hits there. Neither can draw a flag. Will continue the action with Maryland. Maryland can't connect on that pass. It'll roll out of bounds. Possession heads to Holy Cross. Fourth quarter halfway finished here. Again, the 5 p.m. matchup here today is the 1-seeded Kentucky taking on the 4-seed in Union. That's our semifinals matchup to punch a ticket to the D2 championship game that will take place tomorrow at SECU Stadium on campus here at Maryland, home to the Terps football program. And we'll play host to both our championship games tomorrow. D2 kicks off, I believe, at 11 or 10:45, with D1 supposed to start up around 1:15. Hope to see you guys join us on both of those games tomorrow. The other teams playing for a chance in that championship game on the D2 side of the bracket will be Westchester coming in as the 2 seed. They'll take on the number 3, the 3 seed, 3rd seed in the National Tournament Division II bracket. Should be a fun one there. We'll take a break. We'll be back on the other side of this timeout. Back here live, 11-3 your score. The Terrapins leading by a boatload. High Point University takes on Westchester in that final D2 matchup. That'll take place on field 2 at 5 p.m. Passed outside into the corner. Now driving the action back close. Hard rip from the Crusaders as Max Congdon goes wide on it. Now up top. Pass going high. It's a takeaway for Maryland. Maryland now passing along as Aiden Fonseca back into the X for the Terrapins. A packed lot here watching the NCLL, and plenty more watching here at home. Once a year event, the national championships. Maryland knows plenty of that, winning it last year, and certainly look like they'll have the strength to win it again with a 12th goal here in our fourth quarter. Brennan Tracy puts it away, and an injury here on the field for Joe Facone. 25 for Holy Cross goes down. We're going to take a timeout on our end as they tend to the injury on the field. We'll be back. It's fourth quarter action when we return. 12-3, the Crusaders trailing big in our final moments of our fourth quarter. Facone back up and walking off the field here. NCLL quarterfinals in its final minutes here. With 4:11 to go before we can fill out the rest of our brackets and move on to semifinals action. Little tie up. Thank you to Powell Lacrosse for sponsoring us here on the program. All our NCLL action this weekend brought to you by Powell Lacrosse. Visit powelllacrosse.com. Join the movement and use code NCLL24 for 10% off, as Holy Cross just got across goal 4 on their day. Breeze just sent water our direction. Rain coming right at us here. Face off, and again the whistle, and this time it's going to be Holy Cross with the possession. Holy Cross with one last breath as the save's made. Some substitutions coming on for both sides. Maryland keeping it in their possession at midfield. 2 minutes to go. As in that whistle, they give up possession. Holy Cross sprinting up the field, playing to the final whistle here as they send it down. Passed forward, the goalie coming to help out. That's Iwanicki. Iwanicki still far out of his crease as that pass cleared it all the way down the field. Holy Cross defending, and their bench wants a penalty here. Pass bounced along. Now a hard shot saved there. Final seconds, one last save made. As Sean McCarthy keeps this game where it's at. Final score, it's 12-4. Terrapins take it over the Crusaders. Big victory for Maryland. The host team doing host things, putting up 12 goals over Holy Cross. They'll advance to our 7 p.m. matchup. You can watch them on Field 2 with Tim Duffy and his broadcast. They'll take on the winner of Loyola versus Ohio State. Ohio State have some history with Maryland. Would be an interesting matchup. But that game's still going on. You can switch over to that one now. We won't be offended. Just toss on that broadcast for its final moments. Figure out who the Terrapins face next. But for us here on Field 1, your next matchup comes up at 5 p.m. It's going to be the Kentucky Wildcats, the number 1 seed, back here to play the 4-seeded Union College. It's up next, and it's live on the Fans Only Sports Network, free, just where you found this one. Hope to see you there. But for us here, for this broadcast, the Crusaders and Terrapins, 12-4 your final. Maryland takes it. Have a great rest of your night. On behalf of myself, Charlie Adams, and my cameraman, Larry Yin, and the rest of the Fans Only Sports Network crew, we hope to see you again someday here on the Fans Only Sports Network.